Okay, I've been trying to talk for quite some time about this one. Different people have spoken about this as to how they choose a bat. I mean, there are different methods, there are different ways of doing it, but what I do is how I pick up a bat is very simple. For me, the most important thing is how I feel about the bat. So when I pick up a bat, the weight of the bat and the balance of the bat, that really matters to me. And the biggest myth that I have seen while choosing a bat is the number of grains that the bat has. You can see all of these bats that are here. These are almost the top 10 or top 5 bats in the world. We have Granicles, SS, GM, CA, Kookaburra. And all of these bats pretty much have 7, 8, 9, 6 grains. And to me, grains do not matter a lot. And I do not even see how many grains are there in a bat. So that has never made any sense to me. What makes sense for me is the profile of the bat. I like to play with a bat that has a bigger profile. So that really matters to me. So for all my bats, you would see a bigger profile. And the weight of the bat is important to me. I like to play with a bat that is 2.8 or 2.9, slightly on the heavier side. Some people play with 2.6 and 2.7, but I like to feel my bat to be a little heavy. Now, to me, the most important thing in a bat is the ping of the bat. You know, the better the ping of the bat, and the better the bat is. But something what people do not really understand is the ping comes from the middle of the bat. So how big the middle of the bat is, that really matters. So in almost all the bats you will see that the ping is good, right? So the ping really is good in almost all sorts of bats. But how big is the middle? So the bigger the middle, the better the bat is. So it's important to have a bat. When you're pinging, don't just ping it in one spot and see that it's good or not. Just try different spots up and down. Overall, you will try to understand how good the bat is. So this CA bat has a bigger middle. That's why from here till here you can see this is a bigger middle. That means more chances of the ball going to the boundary easily with just pure timing. So I like bats with bigger middles. I test bats according to how big the middle is. Now this is another important thing that I really look for in a bat is the handle of the bat. So different companies, they make different handles. They have square handles, oval handles, flat handles, different sort of handles. But I think Kookaburra, they make the best handles. If you look at the handles of Kookaburra, and I wish I could have Kookaburra handles in Granicle bats, but that's not how it works. But Kookaburra has the best handle because when you hold these bats, the feeling is just next level. And though Kookaburra, I've always felt that the profile of the bat is slightly smaller, which is something I personally do not prefer. But I like to practice with some Kookaburra bats. I always want to have some Kookaburra bats in my collection so that I can practice with these. Then in terms of the wood, so of course the wood matters, the ping matters, everything matters. Some people, they try to sell you bats saying these are player edition bats or pro edition bat, etc. Well, to me, as long as the ping is good, as long as the feel is good, the balance is good, I don't care if it's a player's edition bat or a pro edition bat or a normal bat. As long as it's English willow, authentic English willow, I like it and I would go for it. So for this one, this is grade 1 willow, which makes it slightly expensive. Had it been grade 1 player's edition selected willow, then it would make it more expensive. So I don't prefer to buy expensive bats just because they are player's edition or selected willow. I like to buy bats where I feel good about the bats and the feel is good. Okay, so something that people do not understand while they're choosing a bat, they try to test the ping with an older ball. So when you try to test the ping with older ball, that really doesn't work. You always need to have a new ball while you're selecting or trying a new bat, because the ping with the new ball will always be consistent, whereas with an older ball it will not be consistent. So you have to pick up a new ball to try the ping. And I personally prefer the toe of the bat should have some sort of ping. And not all bats have that ping, and I would always want a bat that will have a ping at the bottom. But that's rare to find. In Grey Nichols bat, they're mostly consistent in making these bats. So I think my personal preference always has been Grey Nichols because their middle is big, the ping is good, they're more durable, they're more strong. I also like the CA ones. Okay, another thing that what people should consider while buying a bat is the shape of the bat. So when you see an Indian bat, this is SS, it's English willow, an Indian brand. You see the shape of it. It's slightly square, but at the end of the bat, at the end of the toe, there is a big curve here. So this is a typical Indian bat that has Indian sort of shape, and I like it. I personally prefer these bats, but what I prefer over these are the English bats. So these ones would always have a round shape. There is no curve here, a very small curve, a bigger middle, and this is something that I personally prefer, Grey Nichols. My top preference is always Grey Nichols. Then we also have Pakistani bat. Pakistani bats, they are quite flat at the end, as in at the toe. If you see them, the toe is quite square and straight. There is no curve in the toe. And we have this sloppy shape here, which is pretty similar to the Indian bat, but the middle is too big. So Pakistani bats are way too big in the middle, and they are excellent for hard hitting. If you want the ball to go miles, then Pakistani bats are the best choice. I think these are basic things that I look for in a bat, and that's how I choose a bat.